Hello everybody, welcome back to CNS Corvettes in beautiful sunny Sarasota, Florida. It's your Corvette buddy Lyle here to talk to you about more interesting, exciting, and hopefully helpful Corvette stuff. Today we are going to do a deep dive into Chevrolet's newest engine for the Corvette, the LS6. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty, the numbers, and then we're going to kind of compare it to the LS6s in my generation Corvette and see what the two might have in common and what might be different. Okay, before we get started, really quick, we're still trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're at 92,600. We're so close, guys. If you enjoy our channel and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd really love to hit that mark this year. Thank you. So if you watch our channel or any other Corvette-related channel at this point, I'm sure you've heard a lot about the upcoming Grand Sport. We've talked about it extensively. But today I want to talk specifically about the new base engine for the Stingray and of course the one that is being introduced in the Grand Sport. It is the LS6 engine. It is 6.7 liters. It is an entirely new V8. It is the 6th generation of the GM small block. It's got a 6.7 liter displacement, which rounds out to 409 cubic inches, which of course is a very famous number historically for Chevrolet performance engines. Horsepower is 535 horses at 6,100 RPM, and peak torque is at 520 pound-feet at 4,600 RPM. Compression ratio 13:1, bore is 103.25 millimeters, and stroke is 100 millimeters. Bore spacing is 4.4 inches. Now that we've covered all of the numbers, let's get into some of the nitty-gritty about the changes and upgrades that have happened internally in this above and beyond what was in the LT1 or LT2 engine. So this engine has direct and port injection with active fuel management. That means you have two different injectors for each cylinder, and each system operates cooperatively yet independently of the other to make sure that you are getting the exact amount of fuel that you need at that exact moment in time to get the most performance out of that piston. Very cool. Looking forward to it. The thing I'm really upset about, unfortunately, is that they're continuing on with the active fuel management and those sets of lifters that they actively flood and then starve and then flood and then starve with engine oil to make them work or not work. This is an ongoing worry we have in the Corvette world. These lifters tend to be good to about 100,000 miles, and after that, they can start being problematic, which for those of us who like to put, 267,000 miles on a car, that's worrisome. That's worrisome. I wish they would just do away with that, and hopefully when they come out with the C9, maybe they will have a better solution than this troublesome, worrisome active fuel management using those lifters. I don't like that system. It has had a huge problem in the trucks, the work trucks that, get mileage on them really quickly. I wish they would do away with it. Truly, I do. It really doesn't save that much fuel, and it just complicates the car and the relationship between the engine, the computing system, the transmission. Everything gets complicated because of that government mandated system. That just needs to be changed to something else, in my opinion. It's got a tunnel ram intake to help funnel that air in the most efficient way possible. It's got high velocity ports, and it's got 95 millimeter throttle body. Internally, the engine features forged pistons and connecting rods, which is good. That's strong stuff. That means it should stay together in the long term, especially when it's pushed hard. Engine oiling is achieved using a new continuously variable oil pump and a high-capacity, performance-focused lubrication system for extended high-load, high-temp use. So that means that this oil pump is going to be able to manage oil flow independent of engine RPMs, meaning it shouldn't be engine-driven. It's going to be computer-driven, I suppose. I need to get more information about that. If you know about that system, put it in the comments below. I'd love to learn more about how this continuously variable oil pump system works, but it should make sure that the engine stays lubricated and stays together when you're flogging it. That's one good thing about this new LS6. This engine is meant to be run hard, and that is what I love to see about a Corvette engine. Quite happy to just go to the grocery store and back, but it really loves to be pushed. With the new Grand Sport and even with the base Stingray, they're doing something different with exhaust now. Corner exit out at the sides is standard on the Stingray. Center exit is available. Chevrolet also says this is the first center exhaust on a pushrod V8 in the C8 generation, meaning that it's specifically now available to versions of the Corvette that it wasn't before. Transmission pairing, it's still the 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And of course, the engine assembly plant is Flint Engine Assembly Operations in Flint, Michigan. Chevrolet also says the LS6 will be the most powerful standard-based Corvette engine ever offered, and that its 520 pound-feet is the highest torque figure for a naturally aspirated production V8, according to GM's claim. Things that we don't know about this engine, and I'm going to try to find out for you from some of my resources inside of GM, is what are the valve sizes, the cam specs, the red line, the rod length, the piston material details beyond the forged construction, what's the exact block and head materials, what is the dry sump versus wet sump oiling system wording, and full dyno curves. I'm sure that the people who get their hands on these Grand Sports and can take them to a dyno like the first day they hit 500 miles, I'm sure they'll have that information before I do, but I'm going to try to find it because I like to provide you guys with everything so you can make informed decisions. As far as what the LS6 may portend as far as long-term ownership, I can tell you from my experience that the LS6 in the C5 generation, which was only found in the Z06 in that generation, has been an outstanding engine. I have several customers, including my own car, with well over 250,000 miles on their original LS6. These are not cars that are driven super gently. I mean, they are treated with mechanical sympathy. They aren't just, but at the same time, they are put through their paces. They are run in the manner they were designed to be run. They're run hard sometimes and, they get pushed. I mean, torque tubes get rebuilt, diffs get replaced, transmissions get rebuilt. But in my experience, in our experience here at the shop, the LS6 in the C5 generation was about as bulletproof a modern V8 as you could get. I would say that as far as reliability goes, it rivaled the LS3 with less modern architecture, but I'm hoping that these forged components and some of the changes that we've seen made here portend an engine that's going to stay together and enjoy being pushed hard. Because if you trust your engine to stay together when you're pushing it hard, you're going to drive the car in a more enjoyable manner and really kind of extract from that car the things that make it a Grand Sport Corvette. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this engine? I mean, again, as I said, I've always had problems with the AFM system. If you have any experience with that, put it in the comments below. And the more I learn about this, I'll share it with you. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll be back to you later this week with more.